still asking.
On your test. Alright? Okay,
It's not
you
even
have,
responses.
it's it, this is supposed to be. There's nowhere to write, I'm just right now. Okay, so why do we classify organisms? Why do we group them? What's the purpose? So it's helpful to have a system between organisms so that scientists all over the world, regardless of where they're from, regardless of what language they speak, because if they all know that they're talking about the same thing. All right, it's a way to accurately and uniformly name things, and it prevents misnomers like jellyfish and starfish, which are not actually fish at all. It always uses the same language, primarily Latin. From time to time they will use Greek as well, but most of the time it's Latin.
What did you writing?
Nope, I'll say it.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Yeah, if you have me for environmental, I use you for environmental, so you should be an expert.
What's wrong with Kiki baby?
Go ahead and flip to this, we haven't written anything on the front yet, flip to this page.
Doctor, come on, name.
Oh,
Come on.
I never seen you talk that much in real life.
Alright.
No, that's actually facts though,
I
twin.
think you have this picture in your notes.
She asked me,
here
can
you
we
see
talk right
a
now?
group of scientists from all over the world, they speak different languages, they're all talking about the same animal, they're using, instead of calling it a skunk or whatever, you may call it in whatever language, they just call it Nephitis, which is the genus and species for skunk. Alright, so there have been many scientists that have tried to group organisms in the past. One of the first was Aristotle, who you've probably heard of before.
Yeah, I heard that dude.
Yeah, so about 2,000 years ago, he was the first taxonomist. No, I'll tell you when you need to listen. Alright, so he divided organisms into two main groups, plants and animals, and then he subdivided them based on where they live, based on their habitat. So he had them subdivided by land, sea, or what he called area. So things like that. All right, there was another one named John Ray. He was a botanist, which means that he studied plants, and he was the first person to use Latin for naming organisms. His names were really long. They were extremely descriptive. They told absolutely everything there was to know about the plant, and it was too much, way too cumbersome. So that system did not last. All right. The one that you're going to hear about most is this guy, Carolus Linnaeus. He was around in the 18th century, and he classified organisms by their structure. And he developed the system for naming that we still use today. And he was known as the father of taxonomy.
I heard of that dude.
Okay, good. So he
Hey,
came
I
up
was
with
playing.
this two-word naming system.
Oh, this shit is
Where we
hot.
use the genus and the species to identify an organism by what we call its scientific name. And the term for that two-word naming system is binomial nomenclature. Combining two names.
Yeah, it's bisexual.
On your, all right, so on your note sheet, it is a method of naming, and it contains how many terms? Two terms.
Goodbye.
All right, who came up with it? Linnaeus
Twin, are you
came
even
up
following
with
along?
the system of naming organisms
What's
using
the verse of the
binomial
day?
nomenclature. So I am telling
even got a
you,
pencil. You
not
took my
word
pencil.
for word in the slides, I'm telling you. It's a method of naming. It uses two terms. All right, Linnaeus came up with the system of naming organisms using binomial nomenclature. That's in this box right here. Okay. All right, the first word in the name is always capitalized. Word in the name is the species itself. So then they give you an example. They've got a picture of a cat there. They list the cat's genus, which is genus
It's
and
trash.
its species is
Are these notes in Canvas? These in
So
Canvas?
it is always written that way. Genus, then species. Genus is always capitalized. Species is always lowercase. And then if it's printed, if it's typed, it's always going to be italicized, meaning that it's leaning to the right a little bit. Okay? If you're writing it, it's kind of hard to write in italics, so you would underline the genus. And so the common name for this little bird is an American robin. It's super cute and has a horrible scientific name. Turdus migratorius. I know. Turd bird. All right.
She let me.
That's the bird,
On the
that's
school
that
bus,
bird's
guys.
scientific name, Turdus. Turdus is the genus.
I don't know what you said.
Migratorius is the
Oh, okay. Twin, you didn't hear that neither, right?
All right,
He's not doing too well.
No, he's actually not even
moving
there.
on. All right, this part is
So
not
if
your
I sat
notes,
in
I'm
his
just
seat-
talking right now. Okay, so we have 3 different species of bears.
Ain't
here.
no room on the seat.
Giant panda, a polar bear, and a grizzly bear. What do you notice about the genus of these bears? If you had to guess, which 2 bears do you think are most closely related?
Polar and the grizzly, but
I
that's.
thought it was polar and
The
panda.
polar bear and the grizzly bear are more closely related, is that what you think?
Yeah, but they also used to
Polar
think giant
panda.
pandas were more closely related to grizzly bears.
Okay, so you're right, the polar bear and the grizzly bear are more closely related, that's why
How the
they
fuck did
share
she
the
drive
same
it?
genus, which is Ursus. But they're 2 different species, so that part of their name is different. The giant panda is, a lot of scientists say that pandas are sorry excuses for a bear because they're really not very much like bears. Think they're bears. And you can tell that they're not that closely related because they have a totally different genus. Yeah, totally different genus, so. All right. I'm not worried about Will's for naming.
You got some long eyelashes.
All right, so now flip back to the front of your notes. This page. Okay? We're on the front now.
Marcel. You look so sad.
Okay, so each,
I'm fucking irritated.
on this upside down triangle, you see how it starts out really broad and gets more and more narrow? All right, each level is what we call a taxon or a taxa for plural. All right, and so each one of those is a category into which related organisms are placed. And there's a hierarchy of groups or taxa from the broadest, which is the domains, to the most specific, which is species. All right, you will have to know the order from broadest to most specific for your test. And so there's a way to help you remember that.
It's not making sense to me. That's what it was.
So here's one way to remember it. Dumb King Philip came over for green soup. They have another, what's that called? Is that a mnemonic device? Is that what they call it? Like the little where you use the first letter to help you remember? All right, so there's another way to help you remember the order. Dear King Philip came over for great spaghetti. It's in your notes. I don't care what you use. Use some little dumb saying to help you remember the order, okay? Dear King Philip stands for domain, kingdom, phylum, came over for, class, order, family, great spaghetti. Alright,
Yeah, we are.
Why are we back with this topic?
alright, so I'm gonna help you fill in your notes.
Hold on, bro.
Bottom
What the
left
fuck is this?
on your notes, scientists classify organisms by their structure and how closely related they are. They arrange them in groups based on the features they have in common.
Oh,
Say ahead, turn back to the
It gets more specific as you go. So let's take a look at how this works.
You can pull it up on your phone.
They skipped over domain here. We'll talk about domains again in a little bit, but they're gonna start with kingdom. All right. All of these organisms belong to
You didn't write
domain
it,
eukarya.
I think.
And like I said, we'll talk about domain. All right, which means they're all eukaryotic organisms. They all have membrane-bound organelles in their cells. Okay? Just listen for that. So all of these animals belong to kingdom Animalia, which means that they're all animals of some kind. All right? And so we've got all different types of species: bears, fox, squirrel, snake, and a sea star.
Of course
They're
you
all
didn't put
very
this shit in here.
different, but they have some things in common. So they belong to this broad
Of course,
category
this
of
dumbass lady
kingdom.
didn't
They
put
all
her
belong to
shit
the same
in the fucking
category.
canvas. She said
All right,
it is
as
in
we
canvas.
move down, we're gonna lose some of these organisms because we're gonna get more and more
This
specific.
is
So,
right here. It
in the next level, in the next taxa, which is phylum, these animals all belong to phylum Chordata. What did we lose there? We left behind the sea star, okay? So what do you think Chordata means? What do you think these animals have in common that the sea star does not?
They breathe air.
They have a brain.
Nope.
I don't know.
What is cord?
I felt like saying
Breathe
there's-
water.
I felt like
What?
Cord.
Did you say?
spinal cord.
Spinal cord, all right? A sea star does not have
Yo,
a spinal
Chris
cord,
need
so
to
it belongs
relax.
to a different phylum, all right? But all of these animals belong to phylum Chordata because they all have a spinal cord. They're all vertebrates, okay?
So like attack.
Have we added water?
One level.
Why you putting it right here?
I'm putting.
All right, so we're getting
right there.
more and more specific. Next one is flat.
Please don't hurt me anymore.
Lost the snake on this level.
I
Right,
don't
but all
be
the
beating
bears
her.
and the fox and the squirrel, they all belong to class Mammalia. What do you think that means? They're all mammals. They all have mammary glands and hair or fur of some kind. All right, a snake obviously does not, so it's not part of this class. All right, next taxon
just threatened to kill
is
me.
order. So
No, I
all of
didn't.
these animals belong to order
They hear me.
Carnivora. The squirrel does not. What do you think all these animals in order Carnivora have in common?
Twin,
They all
can you
eat meat. They're all
smile
carnivores.
for today? Just please.
All right,
Thank you.
There you go.
next one, family first.
Just for the day.
So, grizzly bear, black bear, panda bear,
What's up?
they
That's how
all
you make
belong
you
to the
say.
same family,
Isaac.
but they belong to.
Can you get my pencil? It fell.
So the grizzly bear and the black bear have the same genus, and then we
He's
go all the
not
way
feeling
down
too
to
well.
Ursus arctos, which is genus and species. So it gets more and more specific, more and more narrow as we move down.
Is that you? With them big old eyes at school? Why you doing that? Your head hurts?
All right,
Holly,
so
hit your head.
we're gonna talk about domains for
Killed
a minute
you.
before we move on to your last page of notes. All right, so there's three domains. There's archaea, bacteria, and eukarya. Most organisms belong to domain eukarya. All right, the domains are the largest, they're the most inclusive taxon. Any organism that belongs to archaea or bacteria, they're all going to be unicellular prokaryotic organisms, meaning that they are one-celled organisms and their cell does not have a nucleus and it doesn't have any membrane-bound organelle. All organisms that belong to domain eukarya are going to be more complex, like we are. All of their cells
Hey,
have a
Siri.
nucleus and membrane-bound.
Hey Siri. She knows
All right.
she hear me with her ugly ass.
Siri don't like you.
So, let's look at,
Hey, Siri.
yeah, go ahead and fold these, flip over
Oh
to
my
the
fucking
page.
god.
We're
I
gonna talk
feel
about
curious.
kingdom.
So,
And then we done for today?
ooh, I'm happy that
Alright, so, domain archaea, these, and we're gonna look at kingdom archaebacteria. So these are probably the first cells to evolve. You know what archaic means?
Yes.
Super old, right? Yeah.
That's what that means, right?
But you see that?
Yes, yeah.
So we
Take
lost
that.
the names of the songs.
You know what, I gotta give you a pass.
Me.
Alright, hang on. Okay, so, just like it sounds, these are the oldest organisms on Earth. And a lot of the organisms in that kingdom have evolved to live in really harsh conditions. What is it?
I had like a little kid.
Okay, so an example would be, there are methanogens, which are single-celled organisms that can process methane. So they live in sewage treatment plants.
Wait, is this the first?
I'm just talking right now. All right, some are called thermophiles. They've adapted to live in extremely hot environments like volcanic vents that you find on the seafloor. Some are able to live in very acidic environments or very salty environments like halophiles. All right, so when you look
My
at
bad.
your page with the tassels on it, tassels for
That's
kingdom,
this beat.
which one of these do you think represents kingdom archaebacteria? Look at, because they have descriptions inside the castle.
The one that said
Dumb King, Pillow King,
The last
That
slide.
shit's dumb as hell.
Last on the,
Right.
Oh, I thought it was the last on the left.
last on the left.
I thought
Your
it was the last on the
left. All right, this one,
I thought it was the one next to it.
I thought it was
this
right.
one is archaebacteria. If you need to know how to spell it, there it is on the slide. That's kingdom archaebacteria.
Wait, so can we just put Archaea?
Archaea is the domain, the kingdom is archaebacteria.
So we have to put the whole thing.
Bro, like, I was like, this class is
Geometry, biology.
Let's do
this
it.
class is geometry?
My nigga, what the fuck are we supposed to be playing down?
All right,
What the fuck are we supposed to be putting down?
It's gonna be your class. So you'll see it here.
This one.
well, but you're done with it after this.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, next domain is bacteria, kingdom, eubacteria. All right,
So it's just the one on the right?
all right. Eubacteria is this one, bottom right. Eubacteria is the kingdom, bottom right on your notes, okay?
God is.
Some bacteria are harmful to cause disease, but some are necessary for decomposition, so they help to break down dead things. They're also important, we have a lot of what we call good bacteria in
Yo,
our
Rayla, that's
guts that
crazy.
help us to digest food. And then some
He gonna
bacteria
watch
is
the video.
there
He gonna see.
to help make things like yogurt, buttermilk, cottage
I'ma
cheese,
post
any
it.
of that like sour
Yeah.
stuff. You
Post
gotta
my
have
clips.
bacteria to
Hello? Rayla.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
Okay. So we're moving on
Wait,
to domain eukarya. Domain eukarya is so large that it's divided into different kingdoms. Alright? And the different kingdoms are, listen, Protista, fungi, plantae, and animals.
So I know what the fuck
And I'm gonna go over it,
you don't got to.
alright?
Sports.
So
It goes
fungi,
above
you
and
guys are
market.
all probably familiar with fungi.
Nothing.
We're gonna look at Kingdom Protista first. Alright, so protists they're just weird. And some scientists argue that the Kingdom Protista should be further divided. Most of the organisms in this kingdom are unicellular, but there are some multicellular organisms that fall within this kingdom as well. Some of them are more like plants, meaning that they are autotrophic, they make their own food. And some are more like animals, meaning that they don't make their own food, they have to ingest other things to get their energy. Alright, most are aquatic, so if you ever go out and take like a little sample of pond water and put it under a microscope, you'll see all this cool stuff floating around in the water.
Cool.
You're probably looking at a protist or something. So it is the.
I'm so happy I don't go. I have to go to work today.
Alright, so the one that has the amoeba on it, this one right here,
I was right.
that is Kingdom Protista. Alright, the one that has the amoeba in the castle. Alright, and they do have illustrations on the castles to help you out, so you should see where Kingdom Fungi is.
Yeah, it's the one.
It's got the mushroom on it.
I was mushroom.
Alright, so the Kingdom Fungi is almost exclusively multicellular except for yeast. Yeast are unicellular, but they also fall within this kingdom.
That's a DC called the whole class up.
He said, like, me talking about your
Okay. On your life?
Hey, I'm on the phone.
Y'all are so disrespectful. Y'all doing a lot of stuff.
What?
He said a lot. Yeah, like, so she's on.
Because you think gay people always look at now I'm 49 per class.
What is that?
It's all this day.
You said that better? Yo, before you hear it?
It's horrible. It needs to end. We need to be done.
That's low-key gay though, ain't it?
Um,
I know. I mean, some people like that.
Yeah, money don't be doing
Is this white noise?
He said you said that. So are you on
Excuse me.
No, like, oh, why are you dating Yeah. It's like, it's scary, like.
Alright, guys.
These are girls. Like,
So, let's get back on track. Come on. Alright. So mostly multicellular except for yeast. They're single cells. Fungi are what are known as absorptive heterotrophs, meaning that they digest food outside of their body. And then they absorb it, so they break it down. Because remember, fungi are also decomposers. Bacteria are decomposers, but fungi are a type of decomposer as well. All right, they have cell walls made of chitin. I don't know if that's listed in your notes, but I would write that down. I would write that down on your notes. In a little castle, I would write down cell walls made of chitin. And there it is, that's how you spell it, chitin.
Nah.
What is?
Hi, okay, I read it.
What order did you make?
We'll get you.
No, I'm asking.
Just did tie.
All right. Do what?
Do you ever get tired?
It's first you get.
Every single day.
Yeah, me too.
All right,
I mean,
plantae. This is pretty obvious. These are the plants. All plants are multicellular, autotrophic. They make their own food through the process of photosynthesis, so they absorb sunlight, they use, and they convert that energy into glucose. And I would write in your notes, if it's not on there, and I don't think it is, that they have cell walls made of cellulose. It should be obvious which kingdom it is, but it's the one with the big flower.
no.
Right, that's kingdom plantae.
Why are you talking to Parker like that?
All right, kingdom Animalia. These are all multicellular organisms,
Explain to me.
and they don't make their own food. We don't make our own food, right? We have to
Yes, we do.
consume other things. We
Be
don't.
cooking in there.
Well, but we can't produce it, right?
I mean,
All right.
cannibalism.
Chris, shut the
That's
fuck
still
up.
them eating something else.
We produce our food.
Twin or cousin.
Cannibalism is not,
Chris,
it's
shut
not, you're
the.
still eating another.
What?
Okay, they say if you produce your son and you eat him, then that's a cannibal.
No,
She's
that's-
like,
Chris.
Chris, shut the heck up.
All right, we're way off. Kingdom Animalia, multicellular, they have to consume other things for energy, whether that's plants or animals. They have to consume something else. Okay? All right, we really don't need that.
Next. My God, you still.
All right, quit talking to me. Just a few other things that you need to know. Most genera, which are plural for genus, contain a number of
High volume.
Am I really that?